August 31st, 2014. For Jennifer Lawrence, it started with a silent avalanche of digital chaos. Her phone exploded with 847 missed calls. Her agent was screaming through a voicemail, a chilling, panic plea. Don't go online. Do not go online. But it was already too late. She opened Twitter and saw her name trending worldwide, attached to a photo that was never meant for anyone's eyes. That image, which she had taken years ago, it already had 14 million views. Across Hollywood, the same horrifying realization was washing over dozens of other stars. Kate Upton's private videos, Scarlett Johansson's personal photos, over 100 celebrities discovered their most intimate moments were now public property. Within 48 hours, those images spread to 17,000 websites. The data traffic was so immense, it temporarily crippled Reddit's infrastructure, costing Amazon Web Services tens of thousands of dollars in emergency allocation. This wasn't just a hack, it was a digital violation. A trauma so profound that 4 victims tragically attempted suicide. But here's the most terrifying part of this entire story, the detail that should keep every one of you up at night. The perpetrators were not master criminals. They were just 5 ordinary nobodies, using one of the oldest tricks in the book. This is the true story of the Fappening, a watershed moment. It proved that the biggest threat to our privacy isn't complex zero-day exploits, but a simple, fraudulent email. This is a cybercrime documentary about how 5 amateur hackers exposed the entire digital world's fatal flaw. To understand this attack, you first have to understand the hacker's mind and the brilliant simplicity of their plan. The year is 2013. A man named Ryan Collins sits in his basement. He's staring at an Apple security page, and he's copying it, pixel by pixel. He creates what's called a phishing kit. Phishing is the fraudulent practice of sending emails, seemingly from a reputable company, to trick individuals into revealing personal information. It is a massive component of almost all dark web scams. Collins' version of the Apple password reset page had one critical difference, where a legitimate reset would send your new password to Apple's servers. His version routed the login credentials straight to a Gmail account he controlled. He didn't need to be a coding genius. He just needed to be a good liar. He registered a fraudulent-looking domain, something like Apple Privacy Security at iCloud.com, a name designed to trigger immediate panic and a quick, thoughtless click. His first target list? Over 4,000 celebrity emails, scraped from sources like IMDb Pro and talent agency leaks. 2,000 miles away, another hacker, Edward Mirchik, was running a parallel operation from his childhood bedroom. But Mirchik added an innovation that turned this from a simple scam into a psychological weapon: timing. He noticed that phishing attacks work best when the victim is already on edge, so he timed his fake security alerts, emails with subject lines like, "Urgent unauthorized access detected from Moscow, Russia," to land immediately after real-world security headlines broke, like the major Sony Pictures hack. Celebrities were already paranoid. When a genuine-looking Apple email lands during a news cycle about celebrity nude photo threats, they don't stop to check the tiny spelling error in the sender's address. They click. They panic. They enter their password to secure their account. Between 2013 and 2014, these 2 men sent nearly 10,000 emails. Over 300 people took the bait. 30 were major household names. The first door was open. Getting the password was step 1. Getting the data required, step 2. An Apple vulnerability that allowed the hackers to commit digital robbery on an epic scale. The hackers discovered a fatal flaw in the Find My iPhone feature. An API endpoint for this feature allowed unlimited password attempts, no lockouts, no alerts, just an infinite loop of trial and error. This is a classic example of a broken access control vulnerability, a fundamental failure in cybersecurity protocols. A third hacker, Christopher Brandon, wrote a simple Python script to exploit this. The script tried a list of 14,000 common passwords against celebrity accounts at a rate of 50 tries per second. Jennifer Lawrence's account fell after 1,847 attempts. Her password? Nashville 2011, the city and year she filmed The Hunger Games. Rihanna's password was Barbados 88, her birthplace and birth year. This highlights one of the most basic rules of cybersecurity protocols. Never use easily guessable passwords based on public life events. But if passwords failed, the hackers still had the keys to the kingdom. Security questions. What street did you grow up on? For a celebrity, Wikipedia often knew the answer. Mother's maiden name? A quick dive into Ancestry.com or even publicly available family trees provided full details. First pet's name? Old MySpace posts from 2004 were goldmines of personal trivia. A fourth hacker, George Gaffano, specialized in this social engineering, mining public archives to unlock private accounts. He found Kirsten Dunst's dog's name, Biscuit, in a 1997 newspaper interview. They didn't break complex encryption, they simply weaponized public knowledge. Once inside the account, the hackers faced one last hurdle, downloading the photos without triggering an alert. And here, they exploited a final, terrifying feature of Apple's system, the iCloud Backup Restore. When you log into iCloud from a new device, Apple sends an alert. But if you choose to restore from iCloud Backup on iTunes, the system assumes you are simply recovering your own data. The hackers entered their stolen credentials, selected Restore, and downloaded the victim's entire phone. All 23 gigabytes, including 3 years' worth of photos and videos, no alert on the victim's phone, no email warning of unauthorized access. Apple's logs simply showed a routine backup restoration from a generic iPhone model. The download of Jennifer Lawrence's 1,789 photos took Ryan Collins 4 hours. He watched Netflix while her deepest secrets transferred to his hard drive. For 18 months, these hackers operated in the shadows. They were collectors, traders, hoarding digital trophies, but their careful, controlled crime was about to explode. August 30th, 2014, on the notorious image board AnonIB, a user known only as Original Guy posted 12 words. I have hundreds of celebrity nudes. Bitcoin's welcome samples inside. More coming. This user was looking for a payout. This is how the dark web scams often start digital extortion, a quick exchange for untraceable cryptocurrency. And it worked. Within minutes, the post-Bitcoin address received $147. Original Guy dropped a link to 43 uncensored photos. The market was open. Users were bidding hundreds of dollars for specific celebrities. But then, at 11:47 p.m., the unidentified user dropped a bomb on a higher traffic forum, 4chan. He uploaded everything, 461 photos from 60 celebrities, for free. The business model of extortion collapsed. The chaos began. The explosion was immediate and uncontrollable. The subreddit the Fappening, gained 10,000 subscribers per hour for 6 consecutive hours, a growth rate that exceeded the traffic of former President Obama's famous 2012 AMA. The site consumed 141 gigabytes of bandwidth per second at its peak. Users weren't just downloading, they were replicating. When links were deleted, they used Russian hosting sites, Chinese platforms, or disguised the cache as a Linux distribution on the Pirate Bay. One user even embedded the photos in a Minecraft world file that went viral on gaming forums. The photos achieved what security experts call viral permanence, replicated so widely that complete removal became mathematically impossible. Then came the legal hammer. An analysis showed photos of one victim, Michaela Moron, were dated to 2013, when she was 17. The Fappening was no longer just a privacy violation. It became a child pornography distribution network with over 141,000 participants. Anyone who downloaded or viewed those specific images technically committed a federal crime. September 2, 2014, the FBI launched Operation Fappening, a Priority 1 cyber investigation. 28 agents across 6 cities began pulling server logs, ISP records, and email metadata. The Bitcoin trail went cold. But the phishing emails contained a critical, amateur flaw that is the bane of almost every fledgling criminal: a leaky header. The fake email had routed through an anonymous Russian server, but the X-originating IP header exposed the truth: 74.96.184.42, a Comcast residential address in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The subscriber? Ryan Collins, married, father of 2, IT support at a local hospital. The hacker, who forgot to use a VPN for just a dozen downloads, was now caught. When agents asked why, Collins offered a pathetic confession: "I just wanted to see them naked like everyone else." The arrest followed swiftly. Edward Mirchik was caught via a PayPal account linked to his real Chase Bank checking account. George Gaffano was traced through a screenshot of his trophy photos, which accidentally included his Windows username, George G. Dell. Christopher Brandon was caught after he tested his password cracker script on his own sister-in-law's account, a domestic intrusion reported years earlier. They made every mistake in the amateur playbook. The cybercrime documentary had its cast of villains, who ultimately served a combined 96 months in federal prison. But the most crucial question remains unanswered. Original guy, the person who ruined the scam and dumped all the photos for free, was never identified. The FBI believes he was a trader who had copies, not one of the main collectors, and he simply vanished. The Fappening wasn't just a celebrity scandal, it was a 5-day preview of the next decade of digital life. It exposed Silicon Valley's biggest lie, that our data is safe in the cloud. Apple's immediate response was damage control. They claim no iCloud breach occurred technically true, since the login details were stolen through phishing, but deliberately misleading. Within 96 hours, Apple patched 14 security holes. They enforced rate limiting on password attempts. Most critically, they made two-factor authentication, 2FA, mandatory for critical actions. But while we were distracted by celebrity photos, the true professionals were at work. The same year these amateur hackers went to prison, professional foreign actors breached the guest reservation database of Starwood hotels. The Starwood chain was acquired by Marriott in 2016. Marriott's failure to conduct a proper cybersecurity audit on the new system meant the malware sat undetected for 4 years. The result? The personal information, including passport numbers, credit cards, and home addresses of 500 million travelers, was stolen. This wasn't revenge porn. This was a massive financial fraud pipeline, setting the stage for global identity theft. The Fappening was the visible tip of a massive, black market iceberg where cloud-ripping tools now sell for $50 and automated phishing kits cost $200. The psychological scars of the 2014 victims run deeper than any sentence served, but the violation has evolved. Today, security researcher Troy Hunt finds Fappening photos on 17,000 distinct domains, and the original images are being weaponized by deepfake technology. AI face swap technology makes verification impossible. Jennifer Lawrence's stolen images now appear in hyper-realistic, non-consensual deepfake videos with combined views in the tens of millions. Any photo you see could be real, or it could be generated. This is the new, permanent digital violation, a violation that costs millions in therapy and has forced victims to live in a constant state of paranoia. This cybercrime documentary is not just a history lesson, it's a wake-up call. If the biggest tech companies in the world can be defeated by simple phishing, you need to be your own security guard. Here are the Digital Sleuth's 3 essential protocols to fight and prevent the next great digital threat. First, enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, everywhere. Two-factor authentication is the single greatest defense you have. Had the victims of the Fappening been using 2FA, their passwords would have been useless. How it works is that even if a hacker steals your password via phishing, they still need the second factor, a temporary code generated by an app on your phone or a unique key from a physical security device. Your actionable tip here is to turn on 2FA for your Apple ID, Google account, social media, and especially your banking. Use an authenticator app like Authy or Google Authenticator, which is far more secure than SMS text messages. Second, practice password hygiene. Never use public trivia to create a password. Avoid common passwords and stop recycling them. Your actionable tip is to use a reputable password manager like 1Password, LastPass, or Dashlane. These tools generate long, complex, unique passwords for every site. So even if one company is breached, the rest of your digital life remains secure. Third, identify and destroy the phishing attempt. Phishing only works if you click, learn the red flags. Always check the sender. Don't just look at the display name. Hover over the sender's email address. If an Apple email comes from a domain other than at apple.com or at icloud.com, it's fake. Also, look for urgency or threats. Subject lines demanding immediate action or threatening to lock your account are designed to make you panic. Legitimate companies rarely operate this way. Finally, inspect the link. Before clicking any link, hover your mouse over it to see the true destination URL. If the URL doesn't match the company's domain, delete the email immediately. The hackers of 2014 are long out of prison, but their crime lives on. The digital wounds are permanent. The biggest threat to us isn't just the hackers who got caught, but the hundreds of professionals who learned from their mistakes and are still operating today. In the digital world, the only person truly responsible for your data security is you. Stay vigilant, stay educated. This has been the Digital Sleuth, signing off. Don't just click, that's think. And I'll see you in the next investigation.